Hey folks, ever scroll through your feed and see some influencer, maybe hawking teeth whiteners one minute, suddenly become super devout? It's like they found God right between sponsored posts for tummy tea and crypto scams. And you know what? Sometimes that's exactly what it is, a scam. Look, there's nothing wrong with faith. But when it's used to sell you something, whether it's a product, a lifestyle, or a whole political agenda, that's when alarm bells should be ringing louder than a gospel choir in an empty cathedral. These influencers, they're not your pastor, your imam, or your rabbi. They're salespeople, and their product is division. They prey on our desire to belong, to be part of something bigger. They create an us versus them narrative, with their followers on the side of righteousness and everyone else. Well, you get the picture. They know that controversy sells, and nothing stirs up controversy like religion. So they throw a few scriptures on their feed, sprinkle in some outrage, and boom! Engagement explodes, and so do the ad revenues. It's cynical, it's manipulative, and it's downright dangerous. But hey, at least their teeth are pearly white, right? Now, let's talk about the media and politicians. These folks, they're like those friends who love to gossip, except instead of whispering about who's dating whom, they're spreading misinformation and fear-mongering about entire groups of people. And guess what their favorite ingredient is? You guessed it. Religion. They know that religious issues are emotional hot buttons. So they'll take a complex issue, sprinkle in some religious buzzwords, and suddenly it's not about policy or facts anymore. It's about good versus evil, right versus wrong, us versus them. They create a false narrative that your faith is under attack, and the only way to protect it is to vote for them, watch their channel, or click on their inflammatory headline. And you know what? It works. We get so caught up in the outrage machine, so busy defending our side, that we forget to ask the most important question: who benefits from all this division? Here's a fun trick. If you're trying to silence someone you disagree with, just call them anti-religion or anti-national. It's the oldest trick in the book, and it's still as effective as ever. See, questioning authority, demanding accountability, these are actually pretty patriotic things to do. And having different beliefs, even being critical of religion, doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you, a person who thinks for themselves. But those in power, they don't want you to think for yourself. They want you to blindly follow, to accept their version of reality without question. So they slap these labels on anyone who dares to dissent, effectively silencing them and discouraging others from speaking up. It's a classic divide and conquer tactic, and it's about as subtle as a brick to the face. But hey, it's effective. Because who wants to be on the side of the unfaithful or the unpatriotic? Section 4. Profiting from division, who benefits from a fragmented society? So, who benefits from all this division? Well, certainly not us, the people constantly being pitted against each other. No, the real winners are the ones holding the megaphones, the ones controlling the narrative, the ones profiting from our outrage. Politicians benefit because a divided public is easier to control. They can distract us with manufactured controversies while they quietly pass legislation that benefits their donors, not us. The media benefits because fear and outrage generate clicks, views, and ultimately ad revenue. They've learned that nothing sells like a good old-fashioned culture war. And let's not forget the influencers. They thrive on controversy, building their brands on the backs of our divisions. The more we fight amongst ourselves, the more money they make. It's a vicious cycle, and we're the ones caught in the middle. But there's good news: we don't have to play their game. Section 5. Reclaiming our minds, practical steps to resist manipulation. Look, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to feel like we're just pawns in their game. But here's the thing, they need us to play along. They need our clicks, our votes, our attention. Without that, their whole house of cards collapses. So what can we do? First, let's get some perspective. Turn off the outrage machine for a while. Step away from the 24/7 news cycle and the social media echo chambers. Take a deep breath and remember that things are rarely as black and white as they're made out to be. Second, let's check our sources. Who's telling us this information? What's their agenda? Are they trying to inform us or inflame us? A little critical thinking goes a long way. And finally, let's talk to each other, not just people who agree with us, but people who see the world differently. Listen, really listen to what they have to say. You might be surprised at what you learn.